don't know what where is the agreement? You said that there's a due diligence clause
It's
in there.
in the resolution.
We were actually shocked to see
Is
it in the paper
this an
yesterday.
agreement, solicitor copy?
No, there isn't an agreement.
He just said that there was an agreement.
There's a
You
resolution
said it was in the
to
resolution.
enter into an agreement.
Right, okay, so there is no agreement?
Yeah.
Okay, there is no agreement yet.
The county will have 90 days from the date of execution of the final agreement to have all necessary searches performed and close up the property.
So in other words, and this question goes to Solicitor Kopp, there is this, obviously this is a resolution which is not an agreement, and it says here 90 days from the date of the execution of the final agreement. So you first have to get the agreement. It has to be voted on by the commissioners at the meeting, correct? Correct?
Yeah.
Okay. So an agreement has to come back before the commissioners do, correct?
This is a resolution that we would enter into negotiations. I think, unless your copy's different from mine.
Well, probably is.
No, it isn't. It says shall enter into negotiations.
And these are the conditions.
The
so-
conditions on the negotiation.
That's fine. So an agreement will have to be prepared, brought to the commissioners' meeting, and signed and voted on.
Yeah.
Okay, then 90 days after that, according to this resolution, is when all searches, performed, financing, and the close of the property.
That's right. That's right.
Any other public comments?
Yes.
Yes.
You passed a resolution to advertise for property for this cruise. Now you're ignoring that resolution. Why don't you go ahead, advertise? You may find something far more suitable than what you're trying to do here.
Is there anybody in this room that doesn't think we've been looking for property? And it's been articles in the newspaper many
But you
times.
passed
Not
a
legitimately.
resolution.
No,
Why
not
do you pass
legitimately.
resolutions and then ignore them? You've done that all since you've been in office. You voted for a resolution and then you completely
Mrs.
ignored it.
Mazza, we've been looking for property
I know
for
you-
over a year. And
You and your select few people have been looking. You have not come to the public and said, does anybody in the public have property that would be suitable for a prison that you're willing to talk to us about? You haven't done that. Why don't you do that? Go to the public.
You know, we've done our due diligence. We've been looking for properties. You know,
If you haven't advertised,
if
you haven't done your due
if
diligence, Al.
We can't afford to delay this project.
What's the big rush?
Afford the project.
I'll tell you what the big rush is. We're this year alone we've
Oh,
wasted.
don't give me those numbers about transport.
Okay.
You're gonna put a prison out there and you're still gonna be transporting prisoners back and forth to Uniontown.
If you don't wanna hear the
And you're gonna have a
facts.
long line of cars with prisoners in to bring them to the court, to have their hearing, take them back, bring them back, take them back, bring them back, and you
Mrs.
don't
Mazza,
make any sense, Al. You don't make any
Well,
sense about this prison. Nothing you've done about this prison makes any sense at all.
Well, I would disagree with that.
Well, of course you
because-
disagree with it.
Because we've a lot of very intelligent people, a lot of stakeholders that are knowledgeable about this project, provide their input. I'm going to guess that you're not a prison expert, so. You know.
Who on your committee is a prison expert?
Well, I would say that
Mayor Grace Batalla?
the warden.
You're relying on the warden?
I would say that
And the
we have
warden?
Tom.
That takes any credibility away right there.
Who is a very highly respected.
See the people
good
lined up
respected
like this,
owner.
Crabtree did not even bother to get a sewage permit for the property that he's putting his office on in the industrial park. Now, what does he know about sewage?
You are
There's no
transparent.
sewage permit.
That's what he knows. You've been very transparent. All we have to do is look through all your holes and
For
stores.
such experts, why do they have so many violations?
One at a time. Is there any other public comments?
I do.
Yes, sir.
Al, before you were elected, the two of us walked on Coal Mine Road with your GPS in hand. The site you are now choosing exactly where we stood when you told me that it was directly under both the approach of the airport's runway and flight path. Do you remember that? Didn't you taking a walk down Coal Mine Road before you were elected?
You're talking about the shooting gallery?
I'm talking about me and you walking down that same parcel of land with your GPS.
Let's just talk about
No, let's talk about that, Al. It's the same location. Do you remember me and you personally walking down that road with your GPS? Yes or no?
Yeah, I remember.
Okay. It was a concern then. Is it a concern now that you want to build a prison under the airport's runway and flight path? Yes or no? It's a simple question.
It wasn't valid then, it's not going to be valid now.
It wasn't valid then.
No.
It was your recommendation.
No,
It was directly under it.
It was passed by the zoning hearing board, is that correct?
Were you against that?
Was it-
Were you against that? I
was-
don't care what the zoning hearing
I
board
was
is.
concerned about it.
Concerned enough to walk down there with a GPS and help me?
I was concerned about it.
Are you concerned now that the prison will be underneath the flight path and the approach to our airport?
No,
Yes or no?
It's going to be further away.
No, Al, it's in the same location that me and you stood on. Are you concerned?
It's not on the same location.
Okay,
That
let's move
property-
along.
That
now.
property is owned by the cellulose.
No,
The
Al,
property-
I lived there for 35
Where-
years.
where-
35 years. I can assure you, I know that property a hell of a lot better than you. Cellulose property had nothing to do.
Well, yeah, because that's where the shooting gallery is going to happen.
But the property me and you stood on, Phil
That's
Yazzie's
because-
property with a GPS.
That's because I wasn't going to trespass on private property.
Okay,
We
Al,
estimated
Al, I can never get an answer.
We
Drop
estimated
it.
the distance to the shooting
Al.
gallery, not to where we were standing.
Al, it's directly under the main
Gonna-
approach of that flight path, directly under where me and you stood. You're a pilot, now you want to neglect that concern, being a pilot and a county commissioner? That means nothing today?
It does, but it's not an issue because it doesn't penetrate any of the airspace.
It's under the flight path.
It is, well.
It is.
Not really, but it's,
Do I have to subpoena your
It's
Fred
to the
to
right.
come in here and tell you about it?
Are there other businesses, I was there yesterday, there are other businesses located within that
Yeah, I mean,
proximity.
there's businesses under the flight paths of the other runways.
Not to the extent of a jail with all the lighting.
Let's move on, I'm not gonna debate you, Al.
No, the lighting will be appropriate for the place it's going to be, so there is no light pollution for aviation airspaces. That's easy.
It's easy, doesn't mean nothing to the
No,
airport.
I mean, the lighting issue that
Location and lighting
was
mean
mentioned
nothing.
can be fixed.
Again,
Okay, Al.
this is the initial step, as Mr. Cuphead made reference to, in a process that needs to be, I would trust that anybody that has a half a brain would look at our current facility and question whether or not we need something new.
We do, but that has nothing to do with
Excuse me,
today. You interrupted me. Can I continue to ask my questions, please?
Let me
Please?
finish. I'm sorry, I apologize, but I'll be very brief, okay, sir? This facility was built in the 1800s, long before we were there. It was modified or remodeled in 1962, I believe. And since that time, and I'll give you the tour if you want to see it. The place is just unbelievable. The Secretary of DOC made the same statement. He can't believe that we utilize our intake of 3,000 or 8,000, 3,600. I'm sorry, 3,600. Our intake area is as big as this area. Our kitchen facilities. This is not something we want to do. I mean, I'd rather be talking about something totally different. But the question is, somebody's got to make the decision. And if somebody's not gonna make the decision now, it's gonna cost more later, Mrs. Mazza. And we're going to put the county in more precarious positions regarding liability, because we all know that the prison leads the league in lawsuits.
One
So,
thing is,
again, it
the
needs-
right decision. The right decision has to be made.
I agree with you, and I hope.
And you're not making the right decision
Well, that-
at the
everybody
present
has their
time.
You haven't looked
I'm
at
sorry,
other
sir,
laws.
please, Mr. Christmas.
Go ahead, Terry.
You know, I got a couple questions, but just real quick, Commissioner Zapatowski. You know, all I've heard is that this prison being beat up because of its age, it's run down, it's no good. I'm gonna give you one quick equation to this. We've all heard of the Biltmore Mansion in Asheville, North Carolina. It's the most visited home in the United States of America. Millions of people a year. It's 100 years old plus. It's in mint condition. Do you know why? It's been taken care of. That could have also been done with our jail. If one could have taken care of it, maintained it properly, it could be the same venue. To blame a building because it's 100 years old, it's inadequate and run down, anything can be restored, added on to, or done. So let's drop that
Well,
subject.
we know.
Let me
house
move on.
inmates in that mansion?
Huh?
Do they house inmates in that mansion? Biltmore Mansion?
That prison's been let run to the
Do
ground,
they
no maintenance.
house inmates in that mansion?
That has nothing to do with anything. That has nothing to do with the issue at hand.
House
It's been
inmates.
maintained properly and professionally, so it becomes America's most visited home. If it wasn't, it would have fell into the ground, and it would be nothing today. Now, let's get back to the question. Now, do you know or understand that the property in the surrounding area has been declined? You aware of that?
Yes.
Do you know that it has been strip mined?
Yes.
Do you know there has been mine subsidence issues?
It's all in the, it's all in the survey.
I don't care about the report. I'm asking you, not a
Yeah,
report.
I read it.
Now,
So,
a yes or no?
Yes.
Please,
Yes.
please. Do you know there's been mine subsidence issues?
On that property?
Do you know there's been mine subsidence
Not-
issues
not-
on that
not-
property and surrounding properties?
No, not on that property.
How about the surrounding properties? Aware of that?
Well, there's mine subsidence all across
Al,
the county.
please, are you aware of the subsidence problems on the surrounding properties? Yes or no?
Not personally, no.
Do you know that there is inadequate sewage? Yes or no?
I know, well, here's what I do know, Terry. I know that in Fayette County. and
You're
we
going
look-
off. I
No,
want
no,
a yes
no,
or, I'm here with my
here's what we're
time.
looking
Please
at.
answer one question with a yes or a no.
I know that every place we looked at, a site in Fayette County, we had inadequate sewage, to one degree or another. Every place, we do not have a good sewage infrastructure in
Bet you
Fayette
do.
County.
Bet you do.
And-
Bet you do. Bet you do,
Yes,
Al.
there is.
Right where the hell you're at now. So you're wrong in that statement. You do have adequate sewage. You just don't want it to be there. Let's move along. Answer the one question, please. Do you know there's
Well,
inadequate sewage?
let me answer your other question
No,
about this.
answer that
about
one.
this
Please start with
125
this one.
this
You beat around the
125
bush
No,
and
no,
do
no.
everything every time
You don't
and
want to
can't
hear,
answer a
you don't want to
question.
hear the answer to this question about the 125-year-old facility. There's two major problems.
I didn't bring it up, he did. Al, please.
It's-
Do you know
well,
there's
yeah,
inadequate
You
sewage?
brought up the Biltmore.
He brought up this prison. Al, please quit beating around the bush.
The
I'm begging
facility
you.
is too
Answer a
small.
question like a human being.
The facility is too small, and it's not designed efficiently.
Put an annex up to it.
And then we'll add more inefficiencies
Oh.
as we have with the current.
Al, come on. You put an annex next to that building, you own the property, you have no transportation costs, and everybody in this room would not even be here today. Not one person would object to that plan.
All the numbers are on the website.
You can
We
cl-
have no room for expansion.
No, I don't buy that whatsoever. I don't
Okay,
buy
well,
that.
that's your opinion, Terry. I mean, everybody has one of those.
Al, the room is there, you own property next to it, across the street from it, there's a Yesback lumber building. You can buy any piece of property
Oh,
in
that's in the
Union
flood
County you
zone.
want it, for a hell of a lot cheaper than $1.25 million from Fayette County.
How about as far as the property?
Al, back
City
to
Hall
the
and the
question.
police
Do
station.
you know there's inadequate
Yes,
sewage? Please.
Again, there's inadequate sewage any place you look in Fayette County. You're gonna have to spend money to upgrade